All right, guys, I am down here with puppy Otti. This is our week 1 video recap. We are just getting Otti warmed up with a little bit of play with the flirt pole. The flirt pole is a big hit with all these puppies, usually is. It's a fun toy to play with them. They love to chase it, love to bite it, love to tug it. In our recap videos, we're going to go through all the behaviors that we've practiced and introduced to the pups this week. In your initial confirmation email, when you registered, you did get a link to our webpage that has a whole bunch of resources for you. You've got some handouts you can download in there, and then you also have your video library. Please make sure that you watch the week 1 videos in your video library, because that's a lot of the stuff that we're going to go through right now with Otti. I've got more detailed instructions on those videos than our simple recap video that we're doing with all 12 of the puppies that we're working with for this round of dogs. Hi, buddy. Look at you. So once I win this toy back from Otti, we're going to move into our training exercises. I have options for treats. I've got the Vital Essentials, which is essentially their breakfast. Whoa, I got it. Yeah, did you hear that treat bag? I also have some softer treats. I have some cheese here too. So we've just got options if the puppies, sometimes they have a preference when we have to go through everything. So the very first thing that we're going to practice here is charging the clicker. This is the first thing that we introduce to the puppies. The clicker is a reward marker. Again, please watch the video in your video library. I go into much more detail about it. But essentially, we want the sound of the click to be associated with the food delivery. Okay, so you can see that Otti is very excited for the clicker. He knows that that means that he's going to be getting a treat because we've been doing this with the pups for this last week. Okay, so we're going to click and feed. What a good man. We're going to do that maybe 3 times in a row. Then we'll move on to our next little training exercise. Wow, good boy. Okay, so now that we've charged the clicker for a few reps, we're going to get Otti moving and grooving. I want to teach him to follow a food lure. So I'm going to hold that food against my flat palm with my thumb, underneath my thumb. And I'm going to show Otti that I have the food in my palm. See how he's connected? And we're going to start to move together. After a few steps, I mark and release that cookie. So he is following the food lure that's in my hand. Let's do it with my other hand. So you can see I'm going back and forth between my left hand and my right hand. So again, no matter which direction I'm directing the puppy or which hand I'm using, he knows to respond to both, okay? Good boy, Otti. So now we're gonna do that maybe 2 more times, but we're gonna pair it with his name. Also, super important foundation skill is that we teach their puppies what their name are so that when we call their name, they respond to it, right? And we do that, again, by following the food lure, Otti, and just pairing his name with the food lure, okay? If we look at the big picture, this is a super foundation step in having your puppy come to you when you call them. Otti. Wow, good boy. All right, so he's doing fantastic with the sound of the clicker, following the food lure, pairing that with his name. Oh, Otti, these puppies get under my feet. You're so little. Let's move into a little play break, all right? So after every few behaviors, we do those for a couple of reps, and then I like to take a play break for a few seconds to a minute, right? Because this is hard work for a little baby. These puppies have only been on this planet for like 9 weeks, right? Good job, Bubs. Oh, that's so fun. Get it, get it, get it. Right, so after our play break here, we're going to move into a few more puppy training exercises. Notice that when I'm playing with Otti, right, we're tugging right now, but I'm meeting his opposition. I for sure am bigger and stronger than the puppy, but I am not picking him up off the ground. I am not dragging him across the ground. I don't want to cause injury, and I also don't need to make play the super arousing thing any more arousing for the dog, right? So I'm just holding, see how I can just hold it right here, and he's like, that's fun. I like to tug just like that. Good boy. Give me that. Good boy. Okay, so now that I won this back, let's move into a few more exercises. I'm gonna grab my food, gonna grab my clicker, And now I'm going to show you a hand target. The hand target's going to look super similar to following a food lure, but I am going to disconnect from the puppy this time. So I'm going to show Otti that I've got some food, and then when he reconnects, that's when I'm going to click. Otti, touch. Good boy. Let's do that a couple more times. Otti, touch. Wow. Can we do that again? Otti, touch. Woohoo! That's a smart boy. So that's our hand target. And now we're going to do the mat, the first step in the mat, which is going to turn into a stay behavior. But we have to break this down into teeny tiny steps that our baby puppies are successful at. So step one, week one, is we just put the mat down on the ground. When the puppy comes over to it and gets 4 paws on, we're going to click the clicker. Feed him a treat. Then I'm going to introduce a release word. Okay. Okay means you can come off the mat. And I am pairing that with a food reward on the ground right now. Do it again. Wow, good boy. And I'm actually clicking and feeding him a couple treats in a row, just for building value for being on this mat. And then when we're ready, I'm going to say, okay, and let him chase one off. So let's do that one more time. Wow, good boy, Otti, you're so smart. Ideally, we try to keep them on the mat. Good boy. This mat has a little tab on the end of it. The puppies all are super interested in it and want to bite it and think it's a toy. Yeah, go get it. Okay. All right. So again, it seems like, or it might be hard to picture that being a stay behavior, but we are going to add a step to that every week, and you're going to see how that sort of evolves over the next coming weeks. Okay, so now let's practice our first position change, which is sit. Got some food in my hand, and we're going to lure him into that sit position. Once his bum is on the ground, we're going to mark, and I'm going to use the release word again to tell him he can move out of the sit. Okay. Let's do that a couple more times. And again, see how I'm switching my hands. Sometimes I ask him to sit with my left hand. Sometimes I ask him to sit with my right hand. Come here, Stinky. Get that bum on the ground. Wow, there we go. Good job. Oh, you stood up. In the first week, if they stand up before I give them the release cue, I'm not really that concerned about it. My main goal for week one is just to teach them to find the position, which is bum on the ground. Good boy. You did it. If they can hold it, then I'll give them the release. Okay. These cookies are also crunchy, so it takes them a minute to chew it up and swallow it. Do you want to do one more because you're so smart? Sit. Wow. That was a nice one. Okay. You got to remember these, again, they're little babies, 9 weeks old. Their attention span is about that of a gnat. So that's why we do a few things and then we play again. Yay! Oh my goodness, get that tuggy. Where is it? Where is it? Woo! So fun. Okay, so in that second round we did hand targets. We did the first step in the mat and we did some sits. All of those videos are in your video library. Good job, buddy. Get it, get it, get it. Woo! I stole it from you. Good boy. Ooh, get it. All right, so once I win the toy back from Otti again, we are going to, oh, I got it, buddy. I'll give it to you one more time, don't you even worry. We're gonna move on to our last couple of exercises. We're gonna teach Otti about some handling and some restraint. This is super important for the socialization process. It's a super important behavior that your puppy and adult dogs should be okay with being handled, being groomed, going to the vet, that sort of thing. So again, I'm just going to attach him to a food lure up here. I'm going to start by petting him, and then I'm going to take this hand and bring it underneath his belly and just kind of hold him still. Yes. I'm going to feed him for that. For the handling exercises, I use a verbal marker. I'm saying yes instead of clicking the clicker just because I'm using both of my hands, okay? Now I'm going to start to handle some body parts. So I'm going to pick up his ear, just gently massage an ear canal. Yes. And then feed him for that. Good boy. I want my puppies to be comfortable no matter where I need to touch them or what I need to do to them, right? So now let's work on feet. Again, he's connected to the food lure. I'm going to pick one foot up, just massage those toes. I'm going to do the same to the other side. Yes. And I'm going to give him a cookie for that. That was front feet. Let's try back feet this time. This is also hard because, like, you know, your dog has to get used to being handled because when you pick up a foot, they kind of got to balance on the other feet, right? It's weird. So again, it's part of the socialization process with your puppy. You got to work on petting them, touching them all over, picking up feet. Yes, that time I picked up his tail. Okay, please note that I am not pulling on ears. I am not pulling on his tail. I'm just handling different body parts, making it positive. Okay, giving him another little reset cookie. So he did fantastic with his little handling exercises. So the very last thing that we're going to do is get him dressed in his harness. Introducing your dog to different types of gear. Also part of the socialization process, very important. Our dogs aren't born knowing how to wear a harness or a collar or a leash or how to be handled. It's our job to teach them all those things. So we introduce them early on while they're young and impressionable. Okay, so we've got Otti dressed in his little harness. Make sure his legs are all the way through. They're super cute in these harnesses. And I'm going to set him down on the ground. And this is why I like to pull that toy back out again. Where's your toy? Okay, sometimes when you put the harness on the puppy for the first time, they act like they're wearing a straitjacket. They think they can't move. They think the pups have been doing pretty well with it this week. But that's why, like, if they're into the toy, I'll pull out the toy for this exercise because I want them moving and grooving and realizing that they can move normally and naturally even when they're wearing something like a harness, right? Otti, what a good boy. Good boy, Otti. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, again, Flirt Pull, totally a recommended product for puppies, dogs of any age. On our website, on our products page, woo-hoo-hoo, we have this, a link to this exact Flirt Pull. It's one of my favorites. All right, we're going to let him win that. So if you've got any questions, please shoot us an email. If not, we'll see you next week for week 2.